Were you like sitting in your car listening to a million?
Yeah, at church.
At church?
And he's like, I couldn't get out the car. He's like, I couldn't get out the car.
Oh, you were late for service listening to a million.
You had to get that word.
We in the field, we in the field, bruh. We in the field, we in the field. Just put it in work. We raising the bar. You tuned in to the Trackstarz.
Yeah, back in the field with the Trackstarz, Ryan Righteous, Sean Tanner, DJ Jeremiah. What's good?
All right, this episode is sponsored by Nectar Distribution. Great things happening with Nectar. We've got some new ideas we're going to be rolling out for Nectar, so make sure that you go to www.nectar.trackstarz.com so that you can check out how you can become a part of the Trackstarz Nectar deal.
Yeah, man. So another live show up on YouTube. Last week was amazing. Thank you guys for showing up on YouTube and giving us support and donating, which is awesome for us. So keep telling your friends that we're going live on YouTube now. Periscope, we're going to phase out. Sorry, you guys. So follow us on YouTube. YouTube.com/TheTrackstarz is where we're going to start live streaming from exclusively soon. So today I wanted to start with a concept I came up with, and we could take it different ways, but what really kind of stuck in my mind was this idea of, and this is a series, right? So we do this thing called the Death of series, right? So the death of the Stank Face. Do y'all know what that means?
No.
The death of the Stank Face. So it used to be really important as a lyricist back in the day to say something like a metaphor or something clever that people wouldn't have thought of themselves. And whenever put yourself in the studio and like let's say Rick Sincere is in the booth, you could see him. He says something and everybody in the other room is like, "What?" The Stank Face. Like when something happens where it's like, "Oh my gosh, what?" Yeah. Now, I don't see that much anymore. I think the metaphors that I'm hearing nowadays aren't as clever as they used to be. And people are getting applauded for metaphors to me that aren't as good. I feel like we're forgetting how good some things used to be, where it was like, man, I never would have thought of that. That is amazing.
Yeah.
I think the Stank Face culture, I guess, would still
rap probably.
It still exist in battle rap, because in battle rap, if you're not able to produce the Stank Face line, then you lose the battle. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And so that still exists, but it's there in the music industry right now. I believe the vibes are back, and so as long as your song vibes and it's able to kind of go along, you don't have to say something extremely crazy in order to get people to kind of rock with you or vibe with you, because the vibe is the overarching thing right now.
Yeah, I agree. And there's also it's the fact that that's what drives people, right? Like that whole crowd participation, that's what drives the artist, the performer, and it's all a part of the entertainment. So I mean, yeah, you feel it phasing out maybe a little bit, but I think it's still relevant in some places. I think it's still relevant in spoken word. People when you say something in spoken word and everybody's like, that's dope.
That dude Toby, in Igwe, he's still a part of the Stank Face thing, and I think that's kind of why he's blowing up the way he is really quickly. Yeah. It's because he drops a bunch of Stank Face bars. You know what I mean? And so I give him that.
Yeah, some of the things that people are impressed with now, I'm like, man, that wouldn't have done it.
You know who's
in the 90s?
You know. I think another reason why it kind of died down, because of Wayne, the death of Wayne, almost.
He used them all up.
Yeah.
He literally said every possible metaphor.
Wayne's not dead,
but he stopped doing that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I experienced it early with Drake too.
Early Drake, he did a couple.
Drake will still drop a few of those.
No.
Like, yeah, he will.
No.
Yes, he will.
No.
Drake will still.
Y'all keep fighting me on this, but I'm telling you,
Drake will still drop a couple bars that you like, oh, snap, what was that?
Question is, I know y'all are talking about this, but as artists yourselves, are y'all still dropping them?
Oh!
To be honest, no. That's a good question.
I'm asking the question. I'm asking the question. Like, as artists, do you think it's an important part of your craft?
I think
it's a really great question.
I think as FMG, we probably do it more in FMG.
Yeah, than I do as an independent artist.
Yeah,
because me, I don't like. Honestly, you listen to my whole album, you'll hear some Stank Face. Like me, you'll hear a few. Yeah, you'll hear
Today's Stank Face, not the past. You know what I mean? Like,
nah. Like there's at least one or two bars. Yeah,
you
there's at
think
least one or
today?
two bars on the whole entire album where you'll kind of go back. Man, that's maybe.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Maybe one or two.
I think what we're really talking about is because usually the Stank Face came from the metaphor. Now people, it expanded to, oh, that beat is hot. Ooh.
Yeah.
You know, the beat can make somebody's face screw up, or, you know, the vibe, people like, yeah. But I'm talking about when somebody says something so clever that you're just like amazed by it.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of that.
Okay,
anymore.
so what's the last time you heard that? What song, what artist, when the last time you heard somebody say, ooh?
Most recently, for me, it's been Mouthpiece.
Mouthpiece can do it, yeah.
Mouthpiece does it. I hear it a lot from Toby. Like whenever I listen to him, I hear
he has those.
He has dumb,
those.
ill, like yo, what was that?
Yeah,
like, I hear from him.
Yeah. He can do it. I don't know. It's just something about it. It's a feeling you get when somebody does a metaphor that you expect. Yeah. You know when somebody's rapping in a room and everybody's saying it with them. Yeah. Like that's too expected. Like but when it's something that's like you compare something to something that nobody's thought of.
It's stuff Kanye used to do.
Yeah.
Kanye.
You know, Fab
did it.
But
it
happens with freestyle.
Fabulous.
It happens in freestyle.
Fabulous was great at it.
You know who else does it? Sicily.
Sicily can do it. I'm talking about let's go back to early 2000s, 90s. That's when I remember really hearing that stuff. And Jay used to do it. I'm trying to think who else would
Nas
I think Andre did it.
Yeah, Andre.
Lupe used to do songs that were entire metaphors that make you go, Andre 3000.
But that's not like
Andre 3000 to me was more of his flow made me do that. Not necessarily the metaphor.
Yeah.
His flow was like, ooh. Eminem's flow. It was a flow thing for them, not necessarily. Cassidy was like the metaphor guy.
Yeah,
I'm hearing
Lord Banks too.
They said Jared Sanders on all three.
Big L.
They say Jared Sanders.
Big L had them Stank Face lines.
They say Jared Sanders on all three of his singles. He's out right now. He says he's dropping Stank Face bars right now.
And there's artists that they go for it. Like Jared Sanders is a lyricist. Like he's trying to say something interesting. And I guess I want people to start thinking about, like, I hate saying something or coming up with something that I've heard before.
Your sister
I'm always trying to think of something that I haven't heard before. I want to do something new. Yeah. And I feel like there's some metaphors that are getting recycled a lot.
That's
comparisons that are getting recycled and they're starting to become like, oh, okay, yeah, you know.
Yeah, I would pretty much say a lot of the God Over Money camp, they're very good at doing bar related type, like bars. You know what I mean? So I mean, like the Daytons, the Bizzles, Say a Lot of Corner. 7, all those people, they really good.
They drop the Stank Face bar?
They do.
I know Sean does.
See, somebody said Big L, like, with a question mark.
You don't know. People don't know who Big L is.
That up for discussion? Yeah. Oh, y'all don't know who he is. Okay, got you. The Flex freestyle alone.
Yeah.
What about Stones?
Huh?
I'm seeing Stones. What about Stones?
Them Stones his flow is what's it makes you do that. It's the rapid delivery that makes you do it. I don't know. He may do some metaphor stuff too, but
no, you're right. I think for me it's more.
There's flow rappers, then there's metaphor rappers, then there's vibe rappers. There's all kinds of different rappers. I'm just talking about the metaphor rapper. Of course, metaphor still exists in the battle rap world, like Loso and them. But I'm talking about on a track, saying something that I'm like, I gotta rewind it and hear, like, how did you get to that? Like, it's amazing how you got to that.
I do think like the early 2000s and 90s is the last time I was like, oh snap, say that again. Let me rewind that. Like,
and metaphor and punchline is similar, but not exactly the same. Punchline is like you have a setup then a punch, a setup then a punch. Metaphor can be the whole verse. You see what I'm saying? Like you can extend a metaphor out. So it's like a mix between metaphor and punchline. The punchline has to hit for the metaphor to work, but sometimes the metaphor can get stretched out.
Yeah.
And you don't even realize he's leading up to something that's gonna make you go, oh snap. What was that about? So I don't know. I just want people to be able to fuse that with vibe. Like if you could vibe and do that, like Drake tries to do, that to me is like the perfect match. Like get the vibe right, because a lot of the punchline guys can't make a song.
Drake did say something about Charlamagne that was like, oh snap, on his newest album.
I mean, Drake does this a lot. I don't know why y'all don't give him that credit. I don't know why y'all don't give Drake that credit, but that's cool.
Okay, so but I just it's been a while, and maybe we need to also do the art of the stank face, because there's an art to a metaphor, to where it's not obvious, but it has to make perfect sense. If it doesn't make perfect sense, because in the metaphor you're comparing two things that aren't necessarily similar. It has to make sense in this world and in this world. Sometimes people do metaphors where it makes sense with what you're trying to say, but the thing you're comparing it to is loose. It's not a perfect match.
Give an example. I wish I examples, man.
If y'all could think of some high metaphors, throw them in there. I wish I had
Your
some
sister
examples.
just dropped one on you where she said, go back, and she said, you talked about Netflix and chills when I flick the neck, that's when it's real. Like that makes sense on a bunch of different sides.
Oh,
right?
okay. So
the Netflix and chill is like in person, you know what I mean? Like that's a real thing. But your issue is when you're on. Well, I don't know if it's you, but your issue. Some guys' issue is when they get on the internet, right? That's when it gets real for them. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's actually three things I was trying to do with that. Netflix and chill, right? I can't remember the rest of the verse, so I don't remember exactly what I was doing. But the other thing is Netflix, right? So I was thinking about on the boat, the fishers of men, right? When Jesus
and then
was
reeling them in
on the other side. So Netflix, right? So you're pulling in. So I'm trying to see. It has to make sense. What I say has to make sense in all the things I'm trying to compare it to. If it doesn't quite make sense, you have to do something else. Don't try and force it, or so people won't. It won't resonate as true if it doesn't make sense.
Here's
exactly
a question.
Why I stopped battling y'all.
Here's a question.
Hard.
People are naming other Christian rappers or like people in this genre.
Yeah.
Are we overlooking them, or are we? Because people just naming stuff like Swoop
is good.
This,
Swoop,
Show Baraka, this, and it's like we're just like not.
My critique is
nobody.
not. I'm not even commenting on Christian hip hop. I'm talking about in mainstream. I'm not hearing
because the dominant is
stuff.
Migos. Migos are the dominant style of music you're hearing on radio right now.
Really?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, it is. Like the flow of Migos is the dominant sound. Even to the point where J. Cole like did almost a whole album using their style, but doing it better than them. You know what I mean? Of
course.
So that's what I'm like. That's the dominance of what's going on. It's not just like to hear Fab or all of them on the radio is like almost harsh. I think Nicki tried to do that recently. I heard she has a song called Chun-Li, I think. I heard, and she's trying to do some stuff.
And again, like real quick, metaphor and simile is different. I'm not talking about when you're like, this is like this is like that.
Yeah.
That's just obvious.
Yeah.
I'm talking about
and
when
that doesn't give you the stank face, because some of those give me the stank face.
Do you have it? Maybe we should have done this another time.
I don't have a ready example for you. I just know the feeling I get.
You remember the super duper flow that Big Sean kind of came up with and Drake kind of took, and then other people tried it? That was a simile, but they set it up differently. Whereas instead of saying like they just said this, they just did the comparison. Some of those worked, where it was like, oh snap, that is just like that. But nobody's doing it anymore because it's old. Yeah. So I don't know, something about the 2000s that people really focused on it, and I think Wayne was kind of the driver of that. Of everything had to punch for him. Like almost every line. If you go back to like Mega Man, 6'7", Millie. Every single line was a punchline, and they all were like comparisons of things that don't normally compare, but he made them compare. Yeah, and that's the stuff that I'm
thinking about you when they're Millie.
Look, man, can you get off that story? Can you please get off that story? Nobody needs to worry.
You remember the story you told?
No.
Were you like sitting in your car listening to a Millie?
Yeah, at church.
At church?
And he's like, I couldn't get out the car.
He's
like, I couldn't get out the car.
Oh, you were late for service listening to a Millie.
You had to get that word.
Got to get the word in before you go in.
Words. Had to get those words.
But that Millie was it was a combination of beat and words for that one.
Yeah, and
Millie hit where it was just like, who thought of this? Like,
I think I get a pass for that.
Together?
I think I get a pass for that.
Yeah, hallelujah, man. No condemnation.
I don't believe so. So, if y'all could think of some metaphors, help me out. If any writers out here or people who appreciate metaphors, put them in the comment section on YouTube so I could read them throughout the show, so we could get some examples of what we're talking about. I want people to focus on Aaron Cole is focusing on metaphors more. I hear him, but like we need people that can do the vibe, that know how to vibe and make songs, but then they could throw some candy in there for people who like lyrics. Like that stuff really helps.
But are we in do we need to throw the candy if they're not asking for candy?
There's people that are. I'm asking.
I know you are.
I'm asking for it.
But what I was saying, like, okay, for example, somebody said Royce the 5'9", which is true. Like, but that's for people our age and older that may like him. I don't think a lot of people that's young really dig Royce the 5'9" like that. Not saying they don't, but I'm just saying it's probably not a lot of people like they would dig.
I don't really know Royce the 5'9", and
see, that's what I'm saying.
I think that conversation we had with Caleb Mitchell and all of them in the studio, that brought out where
Caleb Mitchell,
where that group is thinking.
Can do it too.
Like,
he's stupid.
They challenged everything we said was hot back in the day.
But that's what I'm saying. I agree with them. There is a different vibe. But if you can combine the vibe with the metaphor, to me, that's a home run. That's what Drake tries to do. Big Sean, J. Cole, like they win because they can combine those two things together. Kendrick,
yeah.
So they
Kendrick.
Chance.
I don't know about Chance as much as Kendrick. Kendrick drops a lot of Stank Face bars.
So yeah, I just to me that's the perfect combination.
More feeling.
Figure out how to make a good metaphor that's not obvious. It's just something I don't know how to explain how to do that, but there's a way to do it where it's just people can't predict what you're gonna say, but when they figure out what you said, it works.
Yeah,
it works, and it's just a sweet spot you got to hit to get to that. I
give you guys a quick plug. I remember you all did that a lot during Freedom Sessions.
Yeah, that was the whole thing. It was the whole point of it was to say stuff that was crazy.
Yeah. I miss Freedom Sessions.
But Destinations did it too.
Yeah,
Twisted.
Spoken word, you can do it.
Twisted.
Yeah.
What's the joint that we did? It was a bunch of us battling.
Oh yeah. Fighting Temptation.
Yeah. I don't think that was the name of it, but
yeah, that was the name of it.
Yeah, I can't remember, but yeah, that one was.
Don't you dare agree?
Don't you agree or something? But that one was purposefully. If you want to know what we're talking about, just search for Fighting Temptation. Just look for Destinations, and you'll see a bunch of.
They say Aha Gazelle, but Aha Gazelle don't be dropping them Stank Face bars like that. I love Aha Gazelle.
But it's some people it's the flow. It's their flow that makes it like Mama's House is just like it's the flow that he chose on it that makes you go, that was good.
Yeah.
It's I don't know.
He drops a ton of bars.
I just want to hear more stuff that's undeniable.
You're right.
Undeniable, like, wow, I can't believe they thought of that stuff. Like when I was growing up, I used to really love comedy. I used to watch comedy shows and comedy specials, and I always paid attention to the comics that were able to say something that I wish I thought of. To me, that's the bar. If you say something that I wish I thought of, that's what gets my attention. If it sounds like something that I could have thought of or I've heard before, then it's like, nah, that's not it. Yeah. That's not it. Go back and work on that.
But is that specifically you? Because everybody doesn't think, like, some people, like, I wouldn't think of any of this stuff.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean?
And I think that's what my problem is.
Normal bars are just like dumb bars.
I think that's maybe I'm older now. I've heard everything, but I'm hearing people get credit for stuff that is like, what? That's not interesting. That's not that great. Like that would not have gotten the reaction it's getting now back then.
I don't know, man.
Maybe it's just me.
I think a lot of people still do this, but they're not in the spotlight. You know what I mean? Or they're kind of like older artists. So, like a prime example, I ain't trying to push it, but like Fab and Jada when they did they what's the name? I was trying to do a line for line for that. Yeah. But like they were going off on the song. I was like, oh, like, you know what I'm saying? So, but it's an older crowd that probably would like that more than a younger generation. You know what I mean? If you loving the Migos right now, or you know the popular people, and they're not giving you that, it's like, I just like to vibe out, like they said here. So it's like,
you brought up another one though, diss tracks.
Diss tracks, diss tracks is where you're gonna get. You got to get Stank Face bars in a diss track, or it's not a diss track.
Right. Yeah. You got to get especially if it's live, like in a battle, like you have to say things that that get the crowd. Like here's my problem. I think I was talking to Rick about this the other day. I feel like people are leaning on crutches now to get that same reaction that used to take a little bit more skill. People are leaning on do you remember this from when you were a kid line? You know what I mean? And it's like, oh yeah, I do remember that, yeah. And it's like, that's not that good, but it invokes a memory in somebody's mind, so it gets them to cheer. Yeah. And it's like, that's not that good, but it's cheating almost to me. Memory bars, when you just, it's a lot of what I'm hearing that people are impressed with now is just reminding you of your childhood. And I just don't think that's good enough.
That's not always the case. It's sometimes the case.
It's
but
either
not,
that
it's not always the case.
or gun bars.
But honestly,
it's like,
but honestly, you know what
Gun
else?
bars is something you got to deal with.
What went with that was the beat. The beat went with those type of bars. Like we said, a Millie beat is fire.
Yeah.
6 foot, 7 foot beat is fire. You know what I mean? So all those went together and it complemented Wayne so he can flow the way he flowed on it.
Nah, but what you're saying on any beat, right? If you're rapping to a beat, right?
Yeah.
Then you have a flow pattern that's matching that beat.
Yeah.
Now what he's concerned about is the lyrical content, not the flow. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so yeah, you can. Okay, for instance, some of these really nice vibe songs, they still have times where they say a lot of words.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So when you're saying words in those moments, make bars that.
But what
kill
I'm saying is,
people.
okay, prime example.
I don't do it.
Rigor
but
Mortis by
some
Kendrick.
can.
oh jeez.
That is ridiculous.
Yeah.
The beat provides him to flow the way he's flowing.
But again, that's more of a flow song.
yeah, but
that's a
but
flow
he's
song.
still going off on it. He's
He
still
is.
saying
He
some
is.
stuff on it.
Yeah. I don't know. If throughout the rest of the show, post me some metaphors and I'll try and address them and explain what I mean by what's missing.
Last thing I say is features. Like you got some features that we've heard that the artist didn't come out with that we wish we had back. Like you say some stuff on some features. All of y'all have features y'all have done.
It's something about a feature that releases you from pressure. I don't know what it is.
Because
It's like,
you're not really speaking to maybe your audience, or you're not as careful. So
I
you
think
just kinda
part
go
of
with
it. There's two reasons. I think when you do a feature, you're doing it on a beat you're not necessarily used to, and it stretches you.
Yeah.
And then the other thing I think is just when, like for instance, Rick Sincere jumped on Off Brand, and it's just ridiculous, right? But I think it's because it's pressure because you want to make sure you deliver something that the artist that asked you to do it will respect. But it's also a little bit less pressure because it's not yours. I think Rick Sincere will stress over a song that he has to deliver because he knows his reputation is on the line with it.
Yeah.
But something about a feature lets you relax. It's like a pickup game in basketball. It's like you start doing and one stuff on a feature where you probably be more fundamental in a real game. You see what I'm saying? So that's
Look up and one kids.
That's a
You don't know
metaphor,
what
guys. That was an
Kids.
example of what I was talking about. All right, you in the field with the track stars, Ryan Righteous, Sean Tanner, DJ Jeremiah. Lego.
Hey guys, Miracle here. Thank you so much for watching that episode. Make sure you go below, like it, subscribe, click the bell, and make sure you follow us on all forms of our social media. Also, check out our website and be sure you spread the word. We'll see you next time.
We know not what we doing. Screw that, they know, let them have it, do it. Okay, I'm erratic, prove it. Never mind, got a mind that'll wind up with me in a lineup behind bars with these bars. Okay, my time's up.
Team Freedom.
Yeah.
We not through yet.
All right.
Trackstarz Music presents.
Turn my volume up, turn me off.